All right, so it's very difficult. Well, you've been sitting down a lot, okay? So stand up. And not verified, you have to sit down. Not like gender that Christian style is like it less than half now, really a little bit more iOS, but okay. So I'm gonna answer to your questions in the same way that I entered your drama therapy field and pretty used to that theater. You cannot understand what drama therapy is or even become a drama therapist if you don't go through the process. So from day one, I actually had to, in the studies here in 2015 when I came from Ecuador to study my master's spell therapy. Well, from day one, they threw us to do your own process with drama therapy, so you learn and you can apply that to your patients, clients there. But I just wanna, because you've been here so long, it's just to stretch a little bit. You need that, and your body needs that. So just open your legs a little bit. That. Bend your knees. I mean, like this puts you already in a state of, I am ready to play. If someone throws me a ball, I'm ready to catch it. Right? Okay, everyone, breathe. And then take yourself down, deep down, open your eyes, relax, and get you breathe. And down, breathe. And down, and then you talk every. Inactivate that. If I the air decision, and they're gonna put about that. You did it. Oh. Breathe, just shake this. Okay, 10-6, thank you. All right. I'm not here. But I hear 8 or 9 volunteers going active. And we're gonna try that. We're gonna see where one of your questions was, oh, how was my day? On a stage or in the room with different people. 9 volunteers who would like just to have fun and play. Huh? Let me, how can I close the, would be black. Oh, awesome, thank you. All right, I need more, not me more. Who wants to? Wait, I'm just gonna stop. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 or 3 more.
And yeah.
And in the table, if you want to play, do it in your table, and it will be fine. All right. So in drama therapy, we always start with a warm. We don't start with a warm up. It's very difficult for us to ask the client, the patient, to create or go deeper in either story or whatever does not tell through the drawing, right? So we always wanna warm up the group. So this is all when we go. If you get the game and you wanna play at your table, so it's gonna be fun. All right, a circle here, a circle, okay. Right, but to make more space, we have stereo, but you have. Try to get the game. All right. Okay, thank you. All right, so I start, okay? And I'm gonna throw it to someone, and then you throw it to someone else. Try to get it, and also the rhythm, all right?
Where's the whole day? Oh dear.
Then keep there to the sport to be studied. So, in therapy, and this is also my approach. I come from a school of theater that is very physical, which means doesn't necessarily need acrobatics. What it means is that before the words, there's a lot of body. We want to study the body, allow the body to speak, because, well, it's very known that most of our language is nonverbal. And so your second question was, how can we express, repress the emotions or emotions that are very difficult to tell, all right? I'm going to ask you, first, because we study, we go through the body, what happens, okay, imagine that the body has different muscles, correct? If we exaggerate, in drama therapy, we, one of the feedback here also is character embodiment or development or creation podcast, correct? How do I get there and then link to the emotion? Is by using my body. So what happens if I exaggerate a part of my body? What kind of person we're going to see, what kind of person it communicates, what kind of attitude it lacks. So if all of you can just, the pelvis here, just put it to the floor. And say you have this space. So say this walking around. What happened? Then we got this lights. There are people that actually walk like this in lights. You have a space here, you have.
Hola. Hola. ¿Qué tal?
All right. But what kind of people, what kind of birds do you see here? What's everybody to?
Ridiculous.
Those happy words, fun feelings, and kind of informal also, right? Like the body tells us, probably this person today, we already explore the emotions, and if I go deeper in the therapy room, probably I'm gonna tell you, have you felt this way? Or can you recognize a time in your life or even throughout your day with your activities? Like you're probably in the bed, well, when I wake up, I'm definitely, there's no rush, right? So for clients of patients, that is very difficult sometimes to name the emotion. But if I recognize this in someone else, it's very easy for me to hear that. I said, yeah, I can't think this way, all right? Now, in theater, but in drama therapy, we may use characters. We don't only want to show what is obvious, like here, front, we just say, okay, little blacks. But we also want to show something that we call the counter mask. It's the hidden part what we don't let society show, okay? And in our lives that happen. So what could be a counter mask for this attitude? any thoughts? Something that is not such highly opposite, but is that the hidden side that this person is not show. So watch me, okay? And then I want you to do the same.
No idea what she's
Is, huh? The what is he showing this person? Huh? Yes, but also a lot of ambition probably, or hunger, for something, and willing to go and steal or something, right? So in drama therapy, especially, in theater too, but in drama therapy, we want to also work the counter mask. Because clients always come, and he probably saw this in the morning, this is what he told me, that your patient is going to come with something, like a mask. We all wear these masks, we put it up front because you don't want to. Like when you dip inside, you find deeper stuff. And this is in drama therapy what we're up for. Why are you coming to therapy? Why is the hidden message? Why is the unexpressed emotion, maybe unexpressed story maybe told? All right. We're just gonna play one more, and what happens, all right, we're gonna exaggerate the text, this part of the back. Take it out. It's a different attitude, huh? It's a different person, a different attitude. Walk, please.
I feel like getting dudes.
Oh, thank you. Great, thank you very much. What did you observe? What kind of bites? What are they making? Thank you. Confidence. So confidence is presumption. So your eyes must, and the counter mask, the same, right? It can be very self-confident, but it can also be very assumptions, and then be like, I look down. Is that Isabel? Also, very good. Thank you very much. All right, so what is drama therapy? So drama therapy is the intentional use of theater or drama techniques or methods for psychological recovery, okay, and behavioral improvement or change. The ones here that are therapies, psychotherapies, you know that all psychological therapy seeks change and transformation. We try to do it through the means of theater and drama. Just to distinguish, drama is actually the script, okay? It's what is written. Theater, the performance, is what we do on stage. But now we use the both like as if they were synonyms, all right? So theater play helps the person communicate their inner world and explore how to remove the obstacles that are preventing them to achieve goals or thrive in life. I'm going to explain that later. But in drama therapy, this dramatic process that you saw here, and if we stay with one character and then session by session, like I said, okay, you want to do this kind, let's explore, let's keep more, and maybe go even farther. What's the history of this character? What do you see, right? Then this dramatic process is the fairy. what is the distinction between the drama therapy and theater in itself? Is that theater is always going to seek the improvement of the art or how you become a better actor, and it's going to seek performance. Whereas drama therapy don't decide. You don't care about the performance or how you better you do. What I care about is what the process does in your life and how you improve whatever therapeutic goal you come to seeing for. Now, all right, a little bit about the emotions, more about. From the 9 volunteers, one person could like to work with you. Or anyone else, or anyone, and if you're that to just explore a little bit with you. What? Yes. And then I need 3 people with her. Also, they're going to help us.
Students.
Where are ones are they? Take two easier. Who else? 2 more.
We don't. Not all FPS.
Great.
1 more.
Rose.
Because
Something.
What's your name?
Sophia.
Sophia. Okay. I mean, if you want to look at the emotion you will, we can. But I just want you to tell me, like, probably 3 intense emotions. It can be positive or negative emotions that you lived, let's say, in the last month or even the last week. You can help on that.
Disgust. Stop. I'm in the dissection lab phase of anatomy. Wonder. Same place. And curiosity.
Oh, awesome. All right. So these 3 people are going to be your clay, right? So I want you to work with disgust, okay? And we can choose. And if disgust was a natural person, all right, how would it be? What body position would it be? And you tell her how to be that.
The 3 of them as one horizontal. No, just like. Okay, a grimace, and then kind of curled up, and like holding out a hand to like stop anyone from approaching. That's how it comes.
All right, and you do can die. But they seem their own.
I look at you and I
Nope, I believe. What? Like,
If in disgust had the opportunity to talk, actually had voice, what would it say? In a phrase or a word or
I think it would groan.
it's
Yeah, more like a wretched. Like
just that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And you do here like was
Non sento che ho Ferrari.
he said,
You wonder.
how is it?
Wonder. Wonder is a gaze of rapt contemplation, looking maybe above the horizon a little bit, off in the distance. Maybe actually you're on your knees. Yeah, I think you're on your knees. Okay, Mike. Yeah. I mean, can she?
You are rather left. Okay, and you can show her.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. That's a great face. And maybe your shoulders are a little back because you're like almost drawn to the thing in front of you. Yeah, that's great.
And what would wonder say or what?
No, wonder is silent. Wonder says nothing, right? Yeah.
Beautiful.
Guess
Curiosity.
curiosity.
That noise. No prompt, so no prompt. Okay.
Just the no.
Just the body. So curiosity, I'm known to have a furrowed brow when I'm wondering about something, so you probably go like this. But you're not upset. So you're like thinking about something really hard. Looking down, you've got an object in front of you, and you're drawn to it. So like one foot forward, like you're about to. Exactly. You're about to engage furrowed brow. Question. Actually, one hand like this. Yeah. Answer. This is curiosity.
So is that something or is just guidance?
Curiosity says how. Curiosity says why. Curiosity says
Why? Yeah.
Let's see the three of gliding one by one, and I'm gonna do it 3 times so you can actually all right? Okay. And discuss. So everyone in their position, how you wear. All right. Okay. Discuss also. And when I tap on your shoulder, you're gonna make the sound. If that was, it didn't wear sound. Okay.
How?
Okay. Again.
Why?
Have our last one.
Why?
Thank you. Okay, so this is one exercise that we need actually to embody emotions. What do they look like? And if they were a character, what would they say? How would they communicate? And the thing is that for some people, it's very difficult for them to embody. Sometimes the person is so close to their story that it's so difficult that I want to distance them from their story, and the people from the group can actually do it or serve as a key. Of course, in the group, what I have to say is we help the others and the others help us. So it's kind of known in the group that we're going to work together. And this is not attached, oh, I don't want to keep on, and I feel like it's not they're going to. Now, for me personally, drama therapy works better in a group set, and we're going to know later why, but it has to do also with the co-regulation of the room and how the group can help me lower cortisol hormones and stress and anxiety. But definitely, I also do it one-on-one when I'm doing detox therapy. And then if the person wants to do this exercise, then it is probably me is going to embody for them these emotions. All right? So what kind of techniques do we use in drama therapy? Well, movement, games, as you saw. So improvisation, masks, pockets, stories, either story time or the analysis on the story have you really like or you're curious about, and that you definitely identify somehow if it's a story, the creation of characters, or the accompaniment of one character in a story that you like, you're like, this character, I wanna dig in more because this is how we're gonna know more about your own story. The representation of existing characters, as I said, role-playing, creation of stories, clowning, theater of objects, among others. So this is a little bit of what we use in drama therapy. And like in theater of objects, I make the objects become characters and speak. If I am not even able to use my body, or I don't feel comfortable using my body. So why drama therapy? And I want to go back in time a little bit. But drama therapy, as my dad was saying, does not become a formal discipline until the 1970s, 1980s in the US and the United Kingdom, and that in the 90s in Canada, so that you get certified, massively and that. But it's actually even way earlier than we think that theater and healing go together for the belief in a civilization. The earliest studies, even in anthropology, that we know is 2,000 years before Christ, that theater begins as an art, as a way of man to represent or understand the spiritual that he has a sense of, but he does not quite understand. So that's man using symbolism and drawings, but that the creation of masks. The creation of masks to represent abilities, deities. This is how theater started. Theater also emerges from religious rituals and rites, actually. And it is well known in the community that this representation of our relationship with the divine, it is a spiritual world, is shared in the community. And somehow that myth develops, and somehow we as a group heal together from difficult events, from problematic situations, or things that we're not necessarily able to fully understand. So there's where it passes on at the storytelling in the group. So for the Greeks, actually, theater and healing had a very strong link and always went together. Most of the theater, actually, the actual theaters in ancient Greece were built next to a sanctuary for any kind of that. Mm-hmm. And for Aristotle, when he writes about the Poetics, he says that the function of tragedy is to induce catharsis, a release of deep feelings like fear, pity, sadness, to purge the senses and souls of the spectators. So by the spectators being identified with what the character is saying, what the character is communicating and feeling, and at the same time, I am sharing this experience silently with all the audience. Actually, it would bring balance or harmony in the group mood. So for Aristotle, drama was not just about education or entertainment, and its purpose was to release difficult emotions and bring him to the play. It is then later in the Indo-Roman Empire, in the 2nd and the 5th century, that some Roman physicians start and bringing the mentally ill patients to read or practice or participate in plays that were being written, and seeing a very huge improvement on how they would connect to their own emotions. Marijan also told us that, but yes, it's in the late 18th century and then up to the mid 20th century or even less, that mental institutions start including the arts in the hospital as occupational therapy. So this is like when they hire musicians or they will hire actors to come. And an interesting discovery that they found is that, for example, in a hospital in Baltimore, that the patients who would go to participate in this plays, in this dramatic play, actually, would do better, actually, later in talk therapy than the patients that did not, because they would be able to recognize their emotions and and verbalize them better and link their actual emotions to the previous trauma. Whereas other patients that did not do that, it was very difficult to make these connections. And then after the First World War, what they find in hospital is that war veterans that suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder would do much better by participating in the puppet show that was at hospital or in the day or just watching them than veterans that only did top therapy. The summers at top therapy would do some little core to the veterans, back agents and the traumatic lanes and the puppet shows will do a lot for these patients to also help. So why drama and play? First of all, there's a human need to create and play. Theater, as I said, it emerged as a way to represent this world that I don't understand. But what we do in theater actually is we mimic the world around us. What is happening, we mimic the society, we mimic the nature to understand it, to make sense of it, and to understand human behavior. This is what we do in theater, actually. So, just by doing drama for sure, it has a social and psychological implication because it teaches us soft skills. From that, and this I had it with my teenage clients now that I will see that they are so immersed in this virtual world that even making eye contact at the smile is so difficult that I always have to remind them not make eye contact because they go like this. You go like this, and it's very difficult, it's very intimidating to do that. So from making eye contact, smiling, it teaches us teamwork, and we want to work together, communication, verbal and the non-verbal, empathy, definitely, as I said, because when we are in the group, if I do Albarma, and the group in media is kind of ready to play, it's kind of ready, it's kind of like, I have seen it releases all the tension. They were like, yeah. Somehow they don't tell you, but you see that they just are more energized. They feel there's something happened in there. And a sense of belonging definitely to the group, no? To express and understand human behavior and emotions. But now, the drama therapy in itself, definitely, it helps us with the emotional expression and regulation. That is for sure. Just because I can see it played out on someone is doing it for me, and I can recognize. So that there is also, I'm sure, our neural neurons are there, to recognize. This is how I feel, or I can then make it myself if I feel comfortable, no? Or if I don't have words, but definitely my body's this, and I can do it. We saw it with Sophia. It's like this. I don't know. It's something, and we recognize it. Like there's also a social knowledge around the world that we can share, no? Drama therapy gives us a strategy to deal with stress, anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, conflict resolution, and decision-making. The low self-esteem is because when I ask my patients to do something and they all of a sudden, very similar to what my colleague said, they know I have never done theater, I'm not an actress, I'm not an actor, I don't know. But then when they do it, they actually get very surprised. It's like, I was able to do that. And if I am exposed to a triad, definitely that's when I praise my self-esteem because I have evidence that I am able to do something, no? Self-discovery through creativity. In theater and media arts in general, but in theater we project our lives and we can create the world that we want. That's the beauty of theater, is that I had this space And whatever thing that I want, and a deep desire, a dream, a conflict that I was not resolved, or I did not like the outcome, I can do it here. I can pay it out, and I can have the outcome that I want. And then change out the final act, the end that you want, and be like, okay, maybe I can come to terms with this unresolved conflict, but I did it here, and I'm okay, I'm at peace, even if I cannot change my past. But in a way, I can enter into this role or play it out. Mm-hmm.
It helps us to work on difficult relationships.
Sometimes when there is a lack of communication or a behavior on my side and on the other side that I'm not liking, again, the room helps me to recreate, mimic. I say, this is what I want, or this is what I would like to say. And I don't dare get, and eventually we aim that this is kind of like a kick for you to be able into the reality with others, to say what you want to say, to express what, and resolve the conflict. All right. So I want to end this with why I think, of course, drama therapy, I say, is for anyone, any population, no matter your disability or how functional you are. I think drama therapy, we can make it a way that is for everyone who want to try. I think that drama therapy is only not for the people that don't feel comfortable and I don't want to try. But if you, in any population, you want to try it, you will get the benefit. I have had the opportunity to work with different populations in these 10 years since my size, people with mental disabilities or physical also disabilities, children, adults, now I want the elderly and teenagers. So I had an spectrum of everything. But something that I have found, and this is my claim now, is that drama therapy can actually help heal trauma and difficult life experiences. And I want to explain why. So it is Norway, and I became interested in trauma about a year and a half ago. I work now in an organization that provides psychosocial services to caregivers of someone who suffers from mental illness. So I don't see a person directly. I see the family, the friends, and there's a lot of suffering. So I don't just do drama therapy with them. I also do a lot of talk therapy because most of the time they come in crisis to our center. But it's been already a while that I'm like, when I hear them telling the story of the person that is ill, mentally ill, I'm 99% of the time, I'm like, there is trauma, there is bomb, and Noah is addressing that. Sadly. And I found that, sorry, why put this? So I found that childhood adversity and trauma actually increase the risk of mental illnesses, and that is now proven with the new studies. Although these studies had reported higher rates of trauma exposure among persons with serious mental illness compared with the general population, the screening, diagnosis, and treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD) is in most mental health centers remain suboptimal, and traumatic experiences are often overlooked and unaddressed. And this can be probably because there's lack of training. There's fear also that if I all of a sudden start awakening these traumatic memories, how am I going to deal with that? Or that they said that in the medical field, like the hospitals, they tend to see sometimes that, yes, there's trauma, but there is this bipolar disorder and this anxiety, and you need to treat that first, no? But trauma is much more complex than we've been. Trauma is not a memory that you can just sit over and be like, okay, I don't know, nightmares and migraine, and you can sort of be able to. Actually, it is proven that if you do not receive the proper care or the therapy, it's very difficult to heal from trauma. Why? Because trauma surpasses our capacity to cope, like accidents, assault, or low exposure to chronic stressors and abuse, neglect, lack of boundaries, overprotection, and others. It impacts our sense of safety, identity, and our worldview. So this is kind of like our state or nervous system, your autonomic nervous system, and if you are good in life, that there's not much stress, you will be able to switch from one state to the other. This is the only thing that your Dr. Isabel Polches. So he says that when you're safe, when you feel connected to others, you feel kind of safe. This is the parasympathetic part of your nervous system. Like, you're okay, you can engage, that's good. Then you can feel immobilized, and this is a fight-flight state, all right? When your brain signals an alert, this is the amygdala that activates and tells you there's danger, there might be danger, you need to escape, you need to either fight or get out of here because you need to insane. But if the threat is so big that it threatens me in such a way, they might become complete, kind of like a shutdown, completely immobilized. This is a freeze mode, all right? But he says, because our bodies are so perfectly made that our nervous system is always trying to make us feel safe, or signal you need to feel safe, you need to protect. And think about it. If you don't feel safe in the world, it's very difficult for you to build anything, to build relationships, to work. It's very difficult. I had this client that his spouse has a bipolar disorder, and there's a lot of trauma behind the childhood adversity of neglect and overprotection at the same time. So this woman lives in this constant state of fear and unsafe. So she's always on edge. She's always like this. And she's always trying, whatever thing happens, is like, how can I defend myself? Because her amygdala is always activated. Like, say, there's danger. So my husband is a wreck. My children that are very young are afraid to me. Everyone, even the weather, is afraid to me. All right. When you are in a good condition in your life, you're able to switch. You should be able to switch from one state to the other. So feeling safe, relax, and then mobilize your ability to do things, go to work, engage in some kind of activity, or even if there's a conflict at work or something that stresses you. But then immobilized is when you are sleeping or relaxing. But when you experience trauma and you haven't healed from it, most of the time what happens is you get stuck in the mobilized, in this state of alert, I need to defend myself. Even if the threat is not anymore there, you're going to see signals of it. And what happens also, I was researching, is that the hippocampus, that is the part of the brain that is in charge of processing, storing, and reclaiming memories, that shrinks after a traumatic, it can shrink after a traumatic experience, or even this chronic traumas or a series of traumas that you. So that's why people who experience trauma, they say they had these disruptive memories or intrusive memories of the trauma, or they are triggered all the time for similar sensations that I lived through this traumatic experience. And when you experience this trauma, what happens in the prefrontal cortex is that it has a reduced activity, it's kind of like shuts off. So the ability to make decisions, the ability to regulate your emotions, the ability to think and the logic of processing, you're not able, because trauma stays in the part of the brain that is very emotional, the non-verbal. Sometimes people tell about trauma that I don't know how to tell it in words. So I had these images and I had these sensations that has these smells so my claim, well, this is the nervous system, but my claim is that the creative arts therapies can actually help us here a lot. Why? Because of the creative aspect of it. And I was researching that. So now the new neuroscience, if you want, tell us that for creativity, you have the default mode network. This is when you are, for example, like you wake up and your mind is wandering the imaginative and like ideas, or when you're very relaxed or bored, as you have enter into this imaginative state. The central executive network, that is your prefrontal cortex, makes us or help you execute the ideas, kind of one idea, one task, put it into reality. Like, okay, I'm gonna try is up. And the salience network is kind of like the switch between the two that is gonna bring you back to the imaginative, or you are in a creative process at executing it. So this is actually, the arts help us do that. Like you have an idea, we want to try it out, it's in drama, music, painting, and you are actually exercising this part of the brain. Because trauma, as I said, stays in this part of the brain that is nonverbal, that is image. With the arts, we can access that, because I can tell you what's the image, what's the sensation. Tell me about the others, and I wanna talk about this is one of my clients' work. She made she decorated this mask. I told her there's trauma there that we're trying to heal, and I said, okay. I'm gonna give you this mask. You can decorate it how you want it. And this is gonna be you, the essence of you. All right? However you want. And this is what she brought. And then when she's describing her trauma, she says, I don't know about the attentions, but I know that it was cold, there was snow there was like a blurriness, and I was wearing this jacket, and my father. So I said, okay, can you represent that to me, like the image of the scene of the traumatic event? And then I asked her to explain what is it. So this kind of wolf, or is her father, or the voice of her father telling her or diminishing her in the event. This is her with the snow and the blurriness. So it helped us actually go there, all right? In drama therapy, we also use a lot of, if the person is not able to go to the actual embodiment, I can distance you from that and use some anecdote figurines and okay, who is this? Who does what? I don't know. In the conflict, this is probably my friend. This is my mother. This is, and they are doing like this. And it's funny how we naturally they go to be animals. Like when there's the film of this, they go to the most fearful animal, like the tigers and the lions. And you don't tell that, but it's very natural. So yeah, I just wanted to end this on a note that one one story that I remember. There's this client, a 8-year-old child that they asked me to work with in school, and the client parents are separated. The mother is very military, very strict. You follow the rules in my house. You have to get everything organized, everything proper. Father, very relaxed, kind of no rules in my house. We can be happy here. And he sleeps one night at the mother's, one night at the house, one night another matter. This guy, of course, I say the history first with the parents, but I like this guy. He's between two walls. He doesn't know what to do. I already spends. He has a lot of anger issues. Kate comes to the room. He's destroyed everything, kick him, and I have to contain him. Until one day, I have to put me out of the room because he destroyed the clock that we have there. So I had to set a boundary that, hey, we'll do you next week, and I'll come and you will do well. Next party, he comes, he apologizes, and like, hey, you ready to pay? Yes, I'm ready to pay. With children, I can tell you it's very easy. I don't have to do much. They go into the natural language, which is like. So he starts under the table that we have. He starts bringing blocks. I created a fortress around him, and then he goes like inside everything, like where I couldn't see. He hides inside. And then I'm sensing, so I am like, hey, first of all, it's like, where did he go? Where did he go? I'm also entering into this dramatic phase. Where are you? Where's my friend? I don't know. Someone help me. Someone help me. And like, he's not saying like that. He's scared, And I'm like, he's not answering. He's also sad. So I take a puppet and I'm acting with the puppet. Can you help me? This yes, I'm gonna help you find is there a role that I call it Jack? I'm there to find Jack. And so he starts knocking, no, nothing, no answer, no. From inside comes a voice from the little boy that says, give me pen and paper, like, or marker. And so the little puppet, for sure, yeah, then desert you. How can I put it? He opens one of the blocks that it is a daughter. So I give him the marker and the paper, and then he tried his writing and take it out. And it's a drawing of himself with chains and say, I'm trapped, I don't know what to do, I need help. It was the moment for me that he sent me every kid that was ready. He sent me any. And after that, the connection between us was way like peaceful because he actually could use the room as a potato and that I can get a kid snake here, whereas in my two worlds have bones. Of course, I had to tell the mother and the father. It was very difficult for them to get. The mother did not accept it. It wasn't fault of the father. And she said she called the mother. So it was like, very difficult. I ended my grasotomilo. What happened to this eye that can say that I depend by Mexico. He was in a much more state of calmness, even if I couldn't necessarily hear all peace is on. This is my presentation. Thank you very much.